Welcome back to the Dark Reading News Desk at RSA 2025. Terry Sweeney here with Dark Reading, and joining me now is Brian Anderson, Global Field CTO with Cato Networks. Brian, thanks for joining us on the Dark Reading News Desk.
Thank you for having me, Terry.
We're talking about blending generative AI and Secure Access Service Edge, or SASE. Kick us off with some discussion about how SASE fits into security management for viewers who may be new to that term.
Sure. So SASE is the convergence of networking and security in a single cloud-native platform. Cato actually defined this category in 2015, or created this category in 2015. Gartner defined that category in 2019, and then in 2024, Cato was named the leader in the 2024 Gartner Magic Quadrant for single vendor SASE. And the reason that Cato created this category is because security is broken. Essentially, the massive number of point solutions and physical appliances has created a very segmented or fragmented security market. The number of appliances, the number of security solutions that a customer has to manage in an enterprise environment is maybe 60 to 70 of those, right? And I know the number of vendors they have to manage is maybe 15 to 10 of those according to Gartner. So that level of complexity is a drain on precious resources in customer environments.
Well, the edge is regularly cited as the largest threat area, and so a lot of prescience on Cato's network to anticipate that.
Right, there's the introduction of the term of platformization as a buzzword that a lot of vendors that have point solutions are trying to represent segmented or point solutions as a platform. And essentially, that doesn't really solve the problem of complexity. When you look at each one of those capabilities, they're separate code bases, they're separate policy engines, they're separate event types, they're separate form factors, and this complexity, again, is a drain on precious resources in enterprise environments. So Cato has addressed that complexity by taking a platform approach to SASE.
Okay, so this is really interesting. What happens when you layer in Gen AI security to a SASE platform? What possibilities does that then open up?
So you have all kinds of capabilities here. So Gen AI has been a part of Cato's DNA since day one. And I'd like to share a couple of examples. We've been innovating and evolving with this capability over the course of the platform's design. So there are three main capabilities or examples or use cases I can share. One would be the example of DGA, or domain generation algorithm, for example, where a hacker or attacker would try to create a randomly generated domain and try to exfiltrate data to that domain. And really the 0 day here is the time it takes from the moment that the domain is created to when that could be typically seen by a domain reputation service, right? And so Cato can do that in real time. Through the use of our platform and AI, we can compare that against millions and millions of both benign and also malicious DGA type of domains and block that in real time through the use of our platform with AI. The second example is around Cato DLP. And for those unfamiliar, that's data loss prevention. That's the use and access and sharing of sensitive data within an environment. So Cato enables customers to upload their own data and their own files and tune their own LLMs, or large language models, to essentially have custom tailored security specific to their own data types. And the last example that I have to share is really around Cato CASB, and that's Cloud Access Security Broker for folks that are unfamiliar. This is users accessing cloud environments and hosted applications in a secure way. And so Cato in this April has recently introduced Gen AI security controls for Cato CASB. And so these security controls specifically are shadow AI dashboards and policy engines around this area.
All right, well, I mean, a shadow AI dashboard and a policy engine both sound like incredibly useful in these times. Take a deeper cut at how they help enterprises do their jobs.
Absolutely. First of all, the Shadow AI dashboard, these are significant enhancements to Cato CASB. The Shadow AI dashboard will give visibility to what kind of Gen AI applications are on the network and who's using those and so forth. And the policy engine will really help to enforce and grant and restrict access only to use sanctioned versions of those applications. So it's the combination of those things that help to embrace the balance of risk and innovation in an environment. There's a massive surge of adoption and usage of Gen AI applications, and there's going to be a huge surface area of risk for the type of data being sent to these applications. So really, Cato helps customers do four main things. We help to identify or uncover what kind of Gen AI applications are being used in the environment. Then we can help control who can access and what kind of Gen AI applications are allowed. We protect sensitive data, and we also help with governance and compliance.
Gartner has warned that by 2027, an incredible, in excess of 40% of generative AI-related data breaches will be caused by improper use of Gen AI applications. Help us understand what this means for enterprises.
Sure. I mean, enterprises need to be aware. We need to understand what Gen AI applications are being used on the network. We need to understand how those are being used as well. We've talked about uncovering, what applications are on the network, controlling access to those, and then, being able to protect sensitive data and align with governance and compliance. But really, there's four main considerations. It starts with visibility. I want to know what kind of applications are being accessed on my network. And the second piece is around context. What kind of data is being sent to these and how are they interacting with these applications? And the third piece is really around control. Can I sanction certain Gen AI applications to be allowed on the network? And the last piece is around enforcement. Can I control who can access these applications and what kind of data is being sent to those?
All right. Brian, take us out by talking about some of the security best practices that you advise customers with regard to how they adopt Gen AI applications into their IT environments. What are some best practices you can foresee?
Absolutely. Some of the best practices will really be about visibility and control. We want to understand what applications in the network that people are accessing, how they're interacting with those applications, and how we can then control that. We want to enable organizations to embrace innovation, but not do so in a way that compromises the business. So essentially, we want to enable this to be used in a secure way and a responsible way that doesn't compromise the business there.
Great stuff. Well, so appreciate the perspectives here. Thanks for joining us at the Dark Reading News Desk.
Thank you so much for having me, Jerry.
We've been talking with Brian Anderson from Cato Networks. This has been Terry Sweeney for the Dark Reading News Desk at RSA. Thanks for joining us for this segment. We'll see you next time.